my old business mentor. I'm showing this to you because it's significant for the notion of culture and attracting the right people when it comes to a business. A lot of people don't understand the importance of it because humans are very, very expensive. And I'll tell you why I don't hire employees anymore on businesses going forward. I'll deal with that separately. But this is so significant. It made a huge difference in the direction of my hiring practices and basically the systems that I put in place to hire, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a second. But I just want you to watch this. It's a quick 3-minute clip. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. The story behind it, I'm just kind of narrate over it a little bit, but this guy's dancing by himself at the Sasquatch Music Festival. And if you want to look it up, just search for Sasquatch Music Festival 2009, Guy Starts Dance Party. And slowly but surely, like one guy shows up and then another random dude might show up. And, you know, there's no coordination here. There's nothing to see. This is not, you know, this is not anything that's going to qualify for a music awards, you know, backup dancer. Trust me on that one. It's not like you're missing out on anything. Anyway, I'm going to speed it up a little bit more so you can see what happens. Here comes Big Boy. He joins the dance party. I'm going to speed it up to 2 times speed. Big Boy's dancing. They're all flipping around. They're having a good time. Here comes a couple more guys, a few more guys, a few more guys. And then before you know it, it's a freaking swarm. Okay? Everybody's just kind of running to go and sort of dance with this guy. Now, at first glance, you might look at this and be like, yeah, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. But there's significance to what I'm telling you here. This matters. And this is only about 2/3 of the way through the video. I mean, this like continues throughout the entire video. You can go look it up. The reason why this is so significant is when you get the right people on board, your first 1 or 2 employees, everything else really does take care of itself. It's like a snowball. You know, you pack it up and you kind of put it in the ground. You kind of start to roll it and it starts to pick up size, but it only picks up a little bit of size at a time until it gets really big. And then it's gathering a lot more snow. It's always that bottom piece in the snowman. It gets super heavy and you can't do anything with it. This is so important. Your first few hires, you have to get them right. You have to get the right people. Because if you don't, you'll never get a situation like this ever to happen with the hypergrowth phase. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. And any business that relies on human resources needs to take a close look at the people that they're going to invite into their business. You know, similar to the way that I talk to you guys about, be careful about the kind of woman that you invite into your life. And I think there's going to be a lot of stuff in my next book on making bank and entrepreneurship tips. But I talk a lot about, you know, a lot of the personal unplugging that I had to do in this book. And, you know, inviting the right people into your personal life is one part of the equation. You know, the wrong woman can really destroy it. It's the same thing with a business. You invite the wrong people into your business, it could be a disaster. Now, the point that I wanted to, let me pull this out of the screen here. The next point that I wanted to make with hiring the right people is where to get them. Okay. The absolute best place is not want ads, you know, your local classifieds, your LinkedIn's, your Indeeds, whatever else is out there. Most of those people are manipulative time wasters just looking for a job so they can pay a bill. The best talent that you're ever going to find, you're going to have to poach from another company. They're already employed somewhere else. You're never going to get the absolute best talent replying to a want ad, sitting at home on their butt, looking for their next job. It's a fact of life. You can argue as much as you want with it. Show me your results, and then we can talk. I've got the results. I know how to hire the right people. I'm telling you exactly how this works. The best place you're going to get your next best employee, and this is if, you know, even if you're a manager or a team lead and you work in a company and you're looking for somebody, you're going to have to poach them from a competitor or somebody that works in a similar field. Let's talk about why I don't employ people anymore. So this is the second point. No, it's not a mosh pit. It kind of looked like a mosh pit, but trust me, I've been in mosh pits. I was a headbanger when I was a kid, and there was definitely a lot of moshing I did. So why I don't employ people anymore? Well, human beings are expensive, and if I'm being honest, they're expensive, inefficient, many times incompetent. They cause drama, endless drama, sick days, fighting with people in the office. You got to move them from one seat to another. They're banging each other. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on. It's my view that going forward, And one of the books that actually made a big difference in the lens in which I viewed running business was a book called Company of One. You can get it off Amazon. I think I listened to the audiobook. It's not that long, but it breaks down the importance and the benefits, more specifically, to not having a large office space, brick and mortars like desks and computers and phone systems and security and all this sort of stuff. You save a lot of aggravation running a company of one. So if you want more insight on that, I'm just going to give you the resource. I don't need to talk about it that much anymore. But my experience running a business, and I've probably hired and fired, if I'm being honest, between running my own businesses and what I did in my 20s in the collection industry, because I was a regional manager, at least 100 people, easily, 125 people. Like, to kind of give you a little bit of insight. And if you guys want to talk a little bit deeper on the topic, book me for a consult. My links are always below if you want to hop on a one-on-one. But one of the things that we would do to ensure that we had the right people on board is I would offer them a bonus to quit. So the entire hiring process was basically done with parties. There's actually a video on my YouTube channel. So if you search on my YouTube channels for Entrepreneurs in Cars, how I hire people with parties, you can go watch that video. It's from the very early days, from like 2014 or 15. But the offering of a bonus to have them quit was so significant because you could get rid of people that didn't want to be there. I could hire somebody and I could talk to them usually after training about week 3. And I'd pull them in my office. They wouldn't know anything about this. There was nothing given whatsoever. Yeah, actually, that's where I got the idea from Zappos, but I actually tweaked it a little bit differently. So I actually did a big tour of probably about 6 or 7 of the highest rated, most profitable, fastest growing companies with the best office cultures, and Zappos was one of them. I've been to Zappos like 2 or 3 times. I've hung out with Tony Hsieh. He's dead now. I can't remember what happened to him. I think he committed suicide or overdose on something about a year or 2 ago. But, strange dude, but you get the idea, right? So the reason why you offer them the money to quit is you get rid of somebody that doesn't really want to be there. Because if you say to them, hey, look, how's things going? Do you like the office? How are the people? Are they treating you well? You've been trained properly? Yeah. They seem interested. Then that's when I'll be like, well, how about if I offer you $1,000 to quit right now? Just give you $1,000. You can go home. You never have to come back. It's just a bonus if you're not actually that interested in being there. And I would even push it up sometimes, $1,500, $1,750, $2,000. I pushed it up to $2,500 once because I really wanted to see if this guy wanted to quit. And he ended up being one of my best salespeople in that particular office that I had. So, it's one of the strategies that I've used and employed. It's very, very successful. It's one of those things. Yeah, did his house catch fire? Yeah, there's an article out there somewhere. Sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth. It's like squirrel, that's how entrepreneurs are. We bounce around a lot. So that's why I don't employ people anymore. And that's how I would kind of test them. It's kind of a shit test. We talk about, competency tests in the sexual marketplace. Women do it to guys. And I always tell you guys, and I covered it in quite a few different parts of my book about testing people, specifically women also. It's kind of a shit test. Do you really want to be here? If you don't, here's $2,000. You can take it and fuck off and go home, sort of thing, right? I did have one guy take me up on it once, and I was more than happy to pay him the bonus to get him out of there. He went on to create a very successful painting business, and runs a couple of different trucks, has a entire crew. He likes doing it, right? Like, that was his calling. It wasn't working for me on a sales team, making calls on warm leads. He wanted to work with his hands and paint walls. So it's a good thing. And, moving people out of your business into the right place, it's a very, I want to say noble thing to do, but you get the idea.